right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're going into season 29, Overcome, I believe it is. So last season I did all of my wars all in one video, which was lengthy. I think it was almost 2 hours. So I'm gonna try to keep up with this, do something a little different, just to save time. We're gonna do three wars. So basically all 3 wars each week, I'm gonna just post all 3 at once. So it'll be a 1 weekly video for, I guess, looks like about 30 minutes. So we're about to get into this. First 3 wars, we had, let's see, x5e, then PALØ, and then JA, which I think is basically ASR. Yeah, so season 29, like I said, let's get into it. This is Debuff, Detox, and Unsteady Ground for the global defense. First war, the first 2 wars, I think I had 5 fights each, and then the third war was Maximum Blade. That was 9 fights, all Blade, because he is a stud. He may be a relic, but he's hardcore. This first fight, let's see, we got 6A Dragon Man. I think it's a rank 4. I just assume, you know, all defenders these days are rank 4. I mean, maybe occasionally you'll find a rank 3. But yeah, for the most part, just assume all defenders are rank 4 now, and at least in tier 1. This was, I think, Spark's only fight, or no. I think he had, I think I had Apoc later on too. Yeah, this is what does it have? Spiked armor. And then like that prowess gain on repeating the same basic attack or whatever. But the spiked armor, I mean, if it's gonna hurt anybody, it's gonna hurt Spark, you know, basically more than anyone, because he's spongy and he has a lot of crits, because spiked armor reflects damage with each crit, I believe. But as you can see, you know, pretty much just play this normally, you know, stack some poise. But ultimately, you know, just a super clean, easy fight. Spiked armor damage is minimal. It really is. So yeah, 1 down. Rolling on. Next fight, we got Chavez here, who is a dimensional being, for those that don't know yet, or by now. That'll come in. That's useful for later, because I use Blade here for her, and then I use Blade again in the third war. Yeah, so yeah, I think I knock her down here. I don't know I don't remember what my strategy was here. You know, just basically parry and bleed her out with protection up, or knock her down, lose the bleeds, but then gain, you know, more attack. It doesn't really matter. Blade really just dominates her, especially if you have the Spark synergy for the increased danger sense potency. But yeah, she's just pretty much a non-issue. You just have to mind the debuff immunity whenever you knock her down. She loves the heavy, basically just out of nowhere, but definitely if you know, parry, and it's, you know, she's debuff immune, so she doesn't stun. She'll go oftentimes straight to a heavy after that first parry that doesn't stun. So that's the biggest thing, you know, when she starts getting those parallel dimensions stacked, it can be problematic. But yeah, as you can see, Blade just perforates her. Who was my third attacker here? I got Blade, Spark, and I don't remember who the third one was. Oh yeah, Venompool. Man, Venompool, you know, I like him. I don't really play Battlegrounds, not a fan, but I do a little bit, mainly for the like 48-hour milestones or whatnot, solo event milestones. So I have messed around with him mainly there in Battlegrounds, but no, he's a good champ. I mean, great against techs, just blanket statement, you know, great against like all techs. But that level 1, you know, that regen is really nice, and he's just simple. I mean, he's got a lot of buffs, and, you know, you read his kit, and it seems complex, and he's got a lot going on, but really not. I just spam the level 1 and eat buffs and stay healthy. But the fact that he just can't be power drained, power locked, power burned, yeah, it's pretty awesome. Plus, against techs, he is shock immune. Venom, also really good, but I think Venom Pool, I kind of like him a little better than Venom. Venom has the stacking DOT bleed, but Venom Pool ignores or is shock immune, so that's nice. Anyway, I digress. So we got Spark here. I always run max Petrify in my master tree because of those the parry, the couple hits you get in a parry stun, or you know, a lot of the champs I use stun with their specials, and that Petrify combat power rate reduction really does add up. It really matters. Plus it's great for like kind of obscure champions like Jane and soon to be the OG Hulk rework. Assuming, you know, all or most of his kit in beta stays intact. But like for like Jane, you know, she gains the benefits of the combat power rate already without the Petrify Mastery, but each rank in Petrify Mastery, you know, basically if you max it out, you get a 1,000 attack while they're stunned. So that's really nice. With OG Hulk, his beta kit currently, if you're in Gamma Rage, I think you reduce combat power rate by 40% in Gamma Rage while they're stunned. But if you have Petrify maxed, that's 70% reduction during stun. And he does look like he's going to be a stun locker champ, so, you know, huge. And there's other instances, but ultimately, yeah, love the mastery, really good. Anyway, so yeah, this fight started off, I mean, it's a super straightforward fight. You know, I just basically, I don't want to deal with his level 1. I just counter his heavies. This is that disorient on parry, you know, node. So basically, you know, play this node stun immune, maybe pepper in a parry stun if you want to or need to. Messed up there, took, you know, a kick to the face. And this was a rank 4 Doom, and my Venom Pool is rank 3, so that did hurt a bit. But you can't really parry iDoom anyway, or parry stun, I mean. Like, I think his incoming medium is, you know, you can't parry stun that, so kind of didn't matter anyway. Just play him stun immune, push to level 2, and basically just keep with the level 1 and regen. You know, this is my only Venom Pool fight, so I didn't really care about, you know, having to worry about healing him up or anything like that. That's it. You know, iDoom, done, dusted. And then this is the last fight of this war. Spot. Blade for this guy every time. That's my suggestion. Other champs can work. I mean, Netflix, Nick Fury, I'm sure does well because he can ignore miss and he can drop debuffs on heavy or knockdown, assuming you get any ruptures on you or whatnot. But he is a dimensional being, and Blade really does just shred this guy. I mean, you kind of have to mind when he gets to 5 spots. I've played him a couple times now between off-season and season. Couple duels. I think the only duel available is a 5-star. Yeah, once he gets to 5 spots, I think a basic attack will cause him to go. What is it? I forgot the name of it. The invisible, his invisible mode, whatever it's called, untouchable. That's it. It'll cause him to go untouchable if a little parry stun there by accident. That's it. So yeah, dusted. But yeah, basic attack at 5 spots causes him to go untouchable, which is like 5 or 10 seconds, something like that. But special attacks don't. And I'm telling you that because it comes in handy later. So if you didn't know that, there you go. Basically at 5 spots, be careful of those basic attacks because you will cause him to go untouchable. All right, moving on. We got, who's this? PALØ now, playing PALØ. This was Overseer's war. This basically, I just heavied up on Overseer for, I think, not all the fights, but most of them. This was 5A, got that immunity on knockdown. Pretty straightforward fight. I like to eat the level 1. There's tricks to ramp Overseer a lot quicker because all his damage is, you know, in his cosmic mode and the retaliate. But there's tricks, because normally to ramp his cosmic charges, I actually ate that on purpose. You can see I have a dexterity buff, precision debuff, or buff rather. And if you eat his Doom's level 1, he tries to nullify that. So it'll like give you, you know, probably two charges. There's a 1 second cooldown on his cosmic power charge gain through his signature ability. But like, yeah, so because he's immune to nullify and stagger, if you have a buff on you, i.e. dexterity, precision buff, and there's methods to encourage or force an attempted nullify while he has that buff up, you're gonna really, really ramp your charges quick. So something to keep in mind against mystics. You know, there's plenty of mystics that nullify. Doom on his level 1, Claire just on contact. Yeah, so definitely ways to ramp him a lot quicker. This was actually a little tricky. I've taken this fight similarly, I think even on this node. Originally I was like, oh yeah, Overseer, okay. Debuff, detox, Mr. Negative is unsteady ground. Doesn't really inflict debuffs on you at all, unless you knock him down and he does a special, I think. Or the glancing debuff whenever he throws a special. But that right there, that unstoppable on heavy hitter, you got no opportunities. So I was like, no, doing She-Hulk, because she can just cut right through that. You know, heavy counter. Basically, no one else can counter this guy with a heavy. And on this node, you don't want to parry. It's not necessarily this node, it's the champ. You don't want to parry Mr. Negative because you give him light energy. And it just screws you up. You know, disorient or whatever, not disorient, but delirium, where your controls are reversed. So I was like, nah, forget all that. So I don't want to parry him at all. This was basically all heavy countering, throw the level 2. I don't know, right here, I have a level 2 and I just kind of like putz around and, you know, I could have dropped this level 2, you know, just drop him right there with the heavy, get his protection down, throw the level 2. Pretty sure I had a boost running, a science boost. Oh, yeah, this hurts. Take some damage. Yeah, I got a little locked up there. Still didn't want to parry him. It's alright. Bum. We recover. But yeah, so like, she's a great counter for him on heavy hitter. He's not necessarily a great defender. Pretty easy anywhere. Once you understand his mechanics, his specials are pretty easy to evade or just block. His gimmick is basically causing reverse controls, you know, and if you know how to prevent that, play around him. But on this node, probably one of his better nodes, he is a global defender, so, I mean, he's often going to be placed somewhere on the map with most alliances, I'd imagine. But She-Hulk, despite not being debuff detox, you know, still just cruises through, especially against heavy hitter. So I think that was, no. She has another fight. She does. So I do have to heal her up. Happens. Yeah, she's got 2 more fights, doesn't she? Man, still leaning on She-Hulk. Yeah, the glancing debuffs are annoying, but honestly, I kind of look at it like, if they don't have a lot of other incoming debuffs and you're using a non-global attacker, I look at it like the glancing debuff can be helpful. I mean, it's a 6-second debuff that gives you some willpower heals. So yeah, he's a non-global defender. She-Hulk for this guy, pretty much anywhere. That's my favorite. I mean, there's plenty of other counters, you know, poison immune and or an evade immune, or not evade immune, but an evade prevention champ. Both work well. You know, it's his evade that really annoys me. The poison can really hurt, but I think, I still don't have this guy as a 6-star, so I haven't really played with him. But I think that poison can really hurt if he makes contact. But I think if you get poison on you with a non-poison immune, I don't think it's bad. Unless he like hits you, but I'm not sure. Either way, poison immune, slow, you know, just basically prevent all his crap. Ooh, that was a nice level 2 there. Still don't try to, you know, fully evade that level 1. It's kind of dumb, no point. Just kind of brute through this last amount here. Don't even worry about the intercept. I think he just falls over here. He loves that tail. Flop. But yeah, the slow, you know, prevent his evade, prevent his poison. She's poison immune. It's, you know, pretty straightforward. Yes, good old Maw. I think I fought Maw 2 times in 3 wars. I don't think I fought him the second war, but fought him here with Overseer. Little tricky, but you know, a lot of this is still learning. I mean, we played this global and off-season, an extended off-season over the holidays, but a lot of alliances didn't place a boss, so we didn't really get to test the global. Still, you know, some learning going on here, but his Falter debuff is a debuff, so it's kind of like if you've got, you know, your immunity up from the debuff detox, and Falter's coming around, then you can just walk right through the Falter because it's a debuff, so you're not gonna gain that. So that's kind of cool. Overseer can reach Maw after his heavy with his own heavy, which is not many champs can do that. Blade can, both of which, Overseer and Blade, sometimes do need to do a light attack to, you know, gain a little space to throw that heavy, but they can also both, I think Overseer can land his heavy sometimes, but again, this just comes down to spacing. You kind of gotta know what that spacing is, and that just comes with time, you know, fighting the champs and using them a lot. But yeah, I think I got 1 thrashing in there with protection down, which is really all you needed. I mean, I just kind of brute him down right here. I'm like, nah, this guy's just gonna fall over. So yeah, Overseer, he's definitely a boss. Like this guy. I want to like him a lot more, or just a little more, but I want him to have slow, you know. But I get it, you know. He'd be too good then. I mean, he'd basically be like She-Hulk, but better, because like a lot of damage. So I get it. But yeah, he's a fun champ. I like him a lot, and he's the only science global attacker in this meta, so kind of interesting. Good old Mangog. I took Dex off for this. Wasn't taking any chances, you know. But yeah, good old Mangog. Still here, you know, a lot of times. Still a great defender for this node. You have to bring a counter. You can't just kind of like willy-nilly into this. Oh, I think so-and-so can take him. No, you got to prep for that. It's like Spider-Man 99. Preferably with anti-venom synergy for the, you know, Wither at the start. She-Hulk, preferably with Mr. Fantastic. You really do kind of need Mr. Fantastic. The synergy, but really you need at least someone to place that pre-fight, the Petrify, more than anything. I mean, the Power Sync definitely help, but and there's a few other counters, but honestly, like, you gotta deal with that power gain. I mean, I suppose you could go the other direction and just, you know, try to push him to level 3, but and eat it, you know. But that's risky if he wants it, because it's like level 2, whatever it is, where they're like, you know, encouraged to throw that. So yeah, that can end bad. But yeah, so we just flop him over here. Blop. So that's War 2. PALØ down 2-0 so far. Yeah, both fun wars. Close. I think both of those were close. One of those I think we kind of won handily, but I think one of those was close rather. And then this is our 3rd war, and we'll be caught up here. All Blade. Planning took forever on this one. They're a really good alliance. Their placements were annoying and just well thought out. So I was gonna do Blade, Spark, Professor X for the Maw on Conflictor, but I was like, man, all this, like, what about Blade? You know, just maximum Blade. We chatted about it, discussed, and we're like, I felt pretty good about it. I mean, some of these fights were unknowns. I haven't taken them with Blade before, but hey, I mean, he's equipped, especially with, you know, full danger sense. I mean, dude is a freaking hero. And he's ranked 200. So yeah, this fight here, you know, you get around. I mean, he just shreds Quicksilver Surfer. he shreds him. Super fast, you know, a lot of parry heavies. Well, a few to start, and then I think that node has limber, built-in limber, so I just basically parry heavy twice at the beginning through that level 1 to get the bleeds up, and then it was just countering his heavy. Tigra here, yeah, my finger slips on this. This is supposed to be basically just L2, L2. Still went fine, but I did have a finger slip that turned out okay. Strategy here, as you can see it, just parry, parry, parry. I used a lot of gray boosts in this one. I think I used 3 grays in this, maybe 4. The 2 were like the regen right here. That should have been an L2, my finger slip, and then I actually did a step back intercept, light intercept, through my L2. It looked like I was flailing, which, to be fair, kind of was, but she just ran right into it and mowed her down. Meph on Masochism here, strike counter fury, spaced armor. Strategy here, basically L1 start, don't parry, counter heavy, and just throw the, you know, basically follow the, satisfy the strike counter meter as best you can, and just play Meph like normal, but without parry heavies. Sorry, without parries, period. The parry bleeds are freaking amazing, but, you know, this is Masochism, and we deal with the power gain, I think it is, right? So, but Blade does absolutely dominate Meph. So, just wanted to play around the strike counter so we didn't stack too many Furies. That was the plan here. Huge boost, because, well, kind of have to. But yeah, basically, I mean, very, very straightforward fight. Yeah, so we got 3 down, 6 more to go. We got, yeah, this fight, I actually forgot to record this. You can see I go in here, I look at my health, I'm like, oh, I need to heal. So I heal, back out, stop this recording, forget to start it again. So, you know, apologies for that. This was probably the easiest fight I had, to be honest, other than Tigra. Yeah, because it's just a, you know, it's not Mighty Charge, it's just Ebb and Flow Intercept. He is a dimensional being, for those that don't know. So Blade's got max danger sense and just shreds him. Against dimensional beings or mystics, if you're loaded up with danger sense on these ebb and flow or those knockdown protection nodes, oftentimes he'll just remove the protection once you remove it the first time, or I'm sorry, he'll prevent it from coming back. So you knock him down on knockdown, ebb and flow, or whatever, or you intercept on ebb and flow, 5B, protection goes away, it pretty much doesn't come back if you've got full danger sense. So that's super nice. You can see I satisfied it early there. She was lucky not to throw a heavy. I could have just pushed her to level 2 here because she's got no parallel dimensions up, you know, but whatever. I didn't want to risk it. I didn't want her to get to level 2, you know, be stingy, maybe get negative zone, it's unblockable, yada yada. I was like, no, I'll just bait her out. So she just wants to be stupid here and stubborn and not throw her level 1, but that's fine. Patience is a virtue. Nice parry bleed there. It is Mighty Charge, so these bleeds do drop off whenever she jumps in. But it's always nice when they wake up with a special, because if they've got debuffs on them, they stick during that special. Bleeds go away there. As you can see, the protection never came back after that intercept early on. So it's basically just a normal fight now. I mean, that's it. Take away that ebb and flow. You got Mighty Charge, but that's nothing. So Chavez down, rocked her. Rintrah. So yeah, see, me suggesting Blade, like, it just solved a bunch, you know. We're debating on who to use for Rintrah. You know, Professor X is going to be for Maw on Conflictor Mini, but that requires a Wags pre-fight. Yeah, it does, for the most part. So someone's going to have to bring him, and it was too much. I was like, Blade. I'm just Blade everything. I try to remove this protection early on, same deal. I think he goes for it here, yep. Protection's down, never comes back. So this happened on all 3 of these fights. Galan, Chavez, and then Rintrah. So I just remove the protection. The danger sense just prevents it from coming back. And you can see that little meter under my life bar. And that's the crumbling armor trying to proc, but it never does. Not granted, I'm hitting them, but like I think a few times in this it actually expires and I just never get armor on me. Right here, no armor. Key with Rintrah though is you do want to knock him down a lot. I mean his specials are easy to avoid, evade I should say, but he does build like whatever his charges are. I don't have Rintrah, so I don't need them. Whatever his charges are, like they come from contact hits I believe, or just specials, just hitting him. So knocking him down though, it removes those. It becomes problematic when they stack, I think, around 10. If you push him in the corner and he's at a 10 stack or more, he goes unstoppable. So passive unstoppable too. And I think it also causes his level 2 to be unblockable, passive unblockable. I don't know. Either way, the charges, you want to keep him down. In order to do that, you got to knock him down repeatedly. So boom, boom, dusted. This was a little scary. Like the fight itself went well and I wasn't scared during the fight, but leading up to it, I'm like, man, you know, I don't know, you know, because this was going to be Professor X with a Wags pre-fight, but I'm like, damn, Blade, Conflictor, Blade relies on bleed, or doesn't rely, but like, you know, loves his bleed. Can't really bleed here because of Conflictor, but I was like, oh, I got max danger sense. Maw's spongy, Blade absolutely dominates this guy. He can heavy counter him, so that means keep knocking him down to avoid the falter. His danger sense will prevent a lot of the, he's a global defender, Maw is, but the danger sense prevents a lot of that. You can see I don't get a Lance debuff there, and it just prevents a lot of crap, you know? Yeah, the key is keep knocking him down. I was like, well, Conflictor does give him power from each, or not from each, but from a debuff. His bleeds, I'm like, well, his bleeds, like, they come so fast, you know, he gains 1, right? But the rest land. So I was like, you know, in my head, I'm playing this out. I'm like, man, it's a good counter there. Well, as it turns out, it was a great counter. Load him up, give him skill boost, shred, shred, shred. Look at that. That falter was coming up, but he only had like, what, 4% health? I mean, so yeah, we'll be using him against Maw there again, because that was golden. This fight was a little scary. I did remove Dex for this Longshot because, man, even one Dex debuff could just really screw my strategy here, because if he gets to that level 2, doomed. So yeah, the plan here is literally just parry a ton, level 1 start, parry a ton to get to level 2, and then medium, level 2, and then repeat. That's it. So you can see here, parries, parries, parries. Got to be on point with those, can't screw up. Ah. Shredded, we got 1. Boom, there's 2. Shredded, let's get that level 2 back. Boom, there's 3. I think he throws a level 1 here, which is actually kind of good. I made sure it wasn't going to be unblockable, or there was no way for it to be unblockable. And 4. There it is. Shredded, like 300k health, bladed. And then we just roll right into this spot fight. So this will be the last fight of our 3rd war. And this turns out to be a win. We did beat these guys. It was close. 6-5 was the final. Well fought on both sides. And their defense was elite. It was definitely a top tier defense. Placements and defenders. But yeah, so what I was talking about before with his spots, one of my alliance mates was like, yeah, but were you worried when he got to 5? And I was like, well, not really, because once he got to 5, it was just specials after that. You can see I did a level 1 start, boom, let's do a shredder there. Gonna get smacked in the face. Yeah, I thought it was a heavy, dumb. And then boom, level 2.
He's at or close to 5 spots. No, he's at 3 now, so I think we do a couple more basic hits here. Parry.
Yeah, so he's at 5 spots. So the next basic attack, in theory, would take him untouchable. But here we go, level 2, not a basic attack. Still at 5+ spots. Level 2, not a basic attack. So he never got a chance to go on stop or whatever it is. yeah, untouchable. But yeah, so boom. We'll see you guys in about a week. Thanks for watching. Peace.